Deep in the rolling hills of rural Bavaria, Germany, lies the site of one of Europe's most chilling unsolved crimes, the Hinterkaifeck farm murders. In March 1922, an entire family and their maid were brutally slaughtered on their isolated farmstead. What makes this case even more perplexing is that someone continued to live at the farm for weeks after the killings, tending to livestock, eating meals, and using up supplies. Despite decades of investigation, speculation, and countless theories, the identity of the killer or killers and their motives remain unknown. Hinterkaifeck was a modest farm located near the village of Weidhofen, about 70 kilometers north of Munich. The Gruber family, Andreas Gruber, his wife Cecilia, their adult daughter Victoria Gabriel, and Victoria's two young children, Cecilia, 7, and Josef, 2, lived there with Maria Baumgartner, a recently hired maid who had replaced the previous servant, who abruptly quit just days earlier. The Grubers were hard-working farmers, leading quiet lives, far removed from the bustling cities. However, in the weeks leading up to the tragedy, strange occurrences began unsettling the household. Andreas claimed he found footprints in the snow, leading from the woods to the house, but none returning. Tools went missing from the barn, only to reappear mysteriously later. Neighbors reported hearing loud arguments coming from the farm, despite the Grubers being described as peaceful people. Most disturbingly, little Cecilia told classmates she'd seen a strange man lurking around the property. These eerie events created an atmosphere of unease, though no one could have predicted the horrors that awaited them. On the evening of March 31st, neighbors noticed smoke rising from the chimney of the Hinterkaifeck farmhouse, a sign that life carried on as usual. But by April 4th, when milk deliveries went uncollected and livestock remained unfed, concern grew. Villagers eventually broke into the house and discovered a scene of unimaginable carnage. All 6 residents lay dead, victims of horrific violence inflicted with a mattock, a farming tool similar to a pickaxe. Their bodies were found scattered throughout the home. Andreas Gruber was discovered in the barn, struck multiple times. His wife Cecilia and granddaughter Cecilia were found in separate rooms upstairs, their skulls crushed. Young Joseph's body was hidden under a mattress. Maria Baumgartner, the maid, had been killed in her quarters. Victoria Gabriel, the mother of the 2 children, was also bludgeoned to death. Each victim showed signs of struggle, suggesting they had fought desperately against their attackers. Yet curiously, there were no signs of forced entry or robbery. Money and valuables were left untouched, deepening the mystery. What baffled investigators most was evidence indicating someone had stayed at the farm for weeks after the murders. Fresh food was consumed from the pantry. Beds appeared slept in, with linens changed regularly. Livestock were fed daily, and animals seemed well cared for. Neighbors reported seeing smoke rising from the chimney long after the massacre. Whoever remained at Hinterkaifeck must have known the victims were dead, yet chose to stay, maintaining the illusion of normalcy while hiding among the corpses. This macabre detail sent shockwaves through the community and fueled rumors of supernatural involvement. Local authorities launched an extensive investigation, interviewing hundreds of witnesses and scouring the surrounding countryside for clues. Several key pieces of evidence emerged during the probe. 1. The missing mattock. The murder weapon was never recovered, leaving investigators without critical forensic data. 2. A suspicious fire. Days before the murders, a fire broke out in the barn, destroying much of the hay supply. Some speculated it was arson intended to distract or intimidate the family. 3. Financial motives. Rumors swirled that Andreas Gruber had argued with locals over debts or inheritance disputes. Could greed have driven someone to commit such brutality? Family secrets. Whispers circulated about incestuous relationships within the Gruber household. Victoria's husband had died years earlier under mysterious circumstances, and her second child, Josef, bore a striking resemblance to her father, Andreas. If true, jealousy or scandal might have played a role. Despite these leads, no arrests were made. Overwhelmed by conflicting testimonies and lack of concrete evidence, the case eventually went cold. In the century since the murders, numerous theories have emerged, each attempting to explain the inexplicable. 1. Robbery gone wrong. One popular theory suggests the killer was a drifter or vagrant seeking shelter and supplies. When confronted, they panicked and killed everyone present. However, the absence of stolen goods undermines this explanation. 2. Revenge killing. Another possibility involves a disgruntled neighbor or former employee seeking vengeance. Maria Baumgartner's predecessor reportedly fled the farm due to harassment from Andreas Gruber. Supernatural forces. Given the bizarre nature of the crime, some locals believed the farm was cursed. Stories of ghostly apparitions and ominous omens spread quickly, adding to the legend of Hinterkaifeck. 4. Insider job. Some speculate the murderer came from within the family itself. Perhaps Andreas or Victoria snapped under pressure, committing the atrocities before taking their own lives. However, medical examinations ruled out suicide as the cause of death. 5. Serial killer theory. Modern criminologists suggest the perpetrator may have been a traveling serial killer preying on isolated households. Similar attacks occurred elsewhere in Bavaria around the same time, though connections remain speculative. After the murders, Hinterkaifeck became infamous across Germany. Locals avoided the property, believing it haunted by the spirits of those slain. In 1923, the farm was demolished, its ruins plowed over to erase all traces of the tragedy. Yet the land remains a magnet for paranormal enthusiasts, many of whom claim to experience eerie phenomena during visits. Decades later, artifacts from the case resurfaced. In the 1960s, a journalist uncovered letters allegedly written by Andreas Gruber describing the strange happenings prior to the murders. While authenticity remains debated, these documents reignited public interest in solving the mystery. The Hinterkaifeck murders captivate us because they defy logic. How could an entire family be wiped out without resistance? Why would anyone linger at the scene of such a gruesome crime? And how did investigators fail to identify even a single suspect? Today, Hinterkaifeck stands as a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for darkness and our inability to fully comprehend it. What do you think happened at Hinterkaifeck? Share your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video about the Hinterkaifeck mystery, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more true crime stories and historical enigmas. Click the notification bell so you won't miss our next video. Thanks for watching.